Hello, beautiful people. This is Cindy Grace with Cindy's Realty Group by EXP. And what am I going to be talking about? Okay, I know I haven't posted in a while about a little bit of real estate and what's going on in the market just because, well, let's see. But anyways, instead of boring you what's going on and all that, let me talk a little bit of what are people's concern lately. What, right? Okay, I know a lot of you are concerned and be like, well, you know what? I'm just going to wait till the interest rates are lower. The market's gonna crash. All right, let's get you guys out of doubt and let's see what's going on. Do you guys think there's gonna be a flood of foreclosures? Think again and listen to me. So the reason that why there won't be a flood of foreclosures coming to the housing market is because guess what? A lot of people are not in trouble this time. You think so? Of course. I think so. But let me explain to you what's really going on, especially with this whole market shift. It's been like everybody's on pause, but why so? Why is it happening? Because nobody really knows what's actually going to happen. And there's been a lot of concerns. But did you know that right now, buyers can get away with approximately almost a lot of things? But let me keep on telling you a little bit more. All right, with the rapid shift that has happened in the housing market this year, keep in mind, it's just like all of a sudden it was like whoosh, it was really, really hot, and then they dumped some water on it, and then what happened? It just cooled down. Okay, so some people are raising concerns that we're destined to repeat of the crash that we saw in 2008. Did I mention anything about that earlier? Yeah, I did, but this is not 2008, and let's see why is it not 2008. But in truth, there are many key differences between what's happening today and during the bubble in the early 2000s. So what's going on? Wow, 2000s. That makes me think I was in 8th grade. Shh, we're not talking about my age here. Anyways, one of the reasons this isn't like the last time, like 2008, is the number of foreclosures in the market is much lower now. And here's a look at why there won't be a wave of foreclosures flooding the market. So you might see the media like, oh my gosh, it's 150%, it's 1,000% foreclosure. People, keep in mind that in 2000, when was COVID? 2020, that's when it started. And it's just like, there's so many things that the foreclosure amount was so low. So, of course it's gonna be a little bit more. And why are you listening to the media? Just listen to me, okay? I'll point you the right way. All right. Not as many homeowners are in trouble this time. I told you this earlier, but are you listening to me or not? All right, let's keep on moving. After the last housing crash, over 9 million households lost their homes due to the foreclosure short sale or because they gave it back to the bank. I'm going to repeat that again. Over 9 million households lost their homes due to a foreclosure or short sale or because they gave it back to the bank. This was in large part because of the more relaxed lending standards. Keep them back in mind. Anybody, even Joe from the corner, could have gotten a house back then. But now it's like, all right, let me give you my DNA. This is a piece of hair. What else? My firstborn child. In order to get a loan, believe me, I went through it this year. This was a pain in the butt. But I'm like, what else do you want me to give you? I'm like, I can't give you no more else. What do you? And believe me, they dig through accounts, and you know what? I'm not going to say this, but yes, you know what? I might say it. It was like through all the accounts I have. And believe me, I have crypto accounts. I have investments, stocks, you name it. And it was like, it was a nightmare. And I'm telling you, you might be a little bit easier than I am. I'm a little bit complicated because it's me. Anyways, let's just keep on moving forward and seeing what's really going to happen. Okay. So, keep in mind, back then in 2000, 2008, between 2000 and 2008, they were laid back in standards. They didn't even check your employment, not even, 24 hours before. No, they didn't. They trust you. Psh, you have a job. Okay, you make so-and-so. It was so easy to actually just make things up. I'm not saying that you can do that today, but that's a different conversation. We're not talking about that at all right now. So let's keep on moving forward on what's really going on with the lending practices of today. So those lending practices led to a wave of distressed properties, which made their way into the market and caused home values to plummet. Keep that in mind. But today, revised lending standards have led to more qualified buyers. As a result, there are fewer homeowners who are behind on their mortgages, as Marina Walsh, Vice President of Industry Analysis at the Mortgage Bankers Association, keep this in mind, this is MBA, says, for the second quarter in a row, the mortgage delinquency rate fell to its lowest level since MBA survey began in 1979. What is that telling you? MBA. So if there's been a decline in delinquency, what is that telling you? Are we going to have a lot of foreclosures? Will we? I mean, of course, a lot of people have told me, especially a lot of wealthy people, I want the market to plummet. But what is that going to cost to our economy? What's going to happen to everything else? Think again. All right, so it's declined to 3.45% since 1979. What is that indicating you? I'm going to pause there for a moment and give you a little bit of, so you can think about it. Did you think about it? What are your thoughts? Just comment. All right, foreclosure starts and loans in the process of foreclosure also dropped. So what is that telling you? Foreclosure starts and loans in the process of foreclosures also dropped in the third quarter to levels further below the historical averages. I'm going to repeat this again. Foreclosure starts and loans in the process of foreclosure also dropped in the third quarter to level further below their historical averages. Okay, there have been fewer foreclosures over the last 2 years. Of course. So while you may have seen recent stories about the number of foreclosures rising today, context is important. People, this is what I'm telling you. Listen to me. Okay, I know. I haven't been around for a while, but I'm back. Okay, so during the pandemic, many homeowners were able to pause their mortgage payment using the forbearance program. Keep that in mind. The program gave homeowners facing difficulty extra time to get their finances in order and, in many cases, work out a plan with their lender. That is true. With that program, many were concerned it could result in a wave of foreclosures coming to the market. That fear didn't materialize. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of the data that I'm seeing here. So data from the New York Fed, if you want to Google it, shows that there are still fewer foreclosures happening today than before the pandemic. Interesting, right? Are you still going to follow that media? I'm telling you accurate information. Foreclosures up, but near record lows. So what is that telling you? Of course it's going to be in the lows. I'm not going to steer you in the wrong direction. So that means while there are more foreclosures now compared to last year, of course, when foreclosures were paused, the number is still well below than the housing market has seen in a more typical year like between 2017 and 2019. That means a lot of homeowners are going to be keeping their houses and there's not going to be no foreclosures. And you know what? Yes, short sales happen, but life happens, meaning that it could go through a divorce, a death, something might happen along the lines that can cause that. And most importantly, the numbers we're seeing now is still far below the number we saw during the market crash, meaning 2008. The big takeaway, don't let a headline in the news mislead you. I'm going to repeat that again. Don't let a headline in the news mislead you. Don't pay attention. Find right information. Educate yourself. This is why I'm here. While foreclosures are up year over year, historically, context is essential to understanding the full picture. I'm giving you guys a little bit more pictures. Most homeowners have more than enough equity to sell their homes. Of course, especially when we have the... Okay, so if we're talking about what's going on and why people have more equity now, many homeowners today have enough equity to sell their house instead of facing foreclosure. So, you know what? I have a client right now and he's like, he just refinanced his house from a 2.2 to a 5.6. And what happened? Well, he's going to sell his house, but he's going to make more money now. You'd be like, but that does not make any sense. Anyways, that's a different story. But let's just go back to the picture and whatever I'm talking about. Okay, do to rapidly rising home prices over the last 2 years, the average homeowner has gained record amounts of equity in their home. Keep that in mind. Back in the 2008, that didn't happen. It was a totally different story back then. And if they stayed in their homes even longer, they even may have some more equity than, the past 2 years than they realize. So as Ksenia Potava, economist at First American, says, homeowners have very high levels of tappable home equity today, providing a cushion to withstand potential price declines. So that's awesome, right? They still have equity. So even though the appreciation is not as fast as the past 2 years, they'll still have equity on their houses. So why are they going to be foreclosing? I'm asking you. Are you going to answer? Maybe. Okay. Anyways. All right. So to withstand potential price declines, but also preventing housing distress from turning into a foreclosure. So if they have any issues, they can always sell. The result will likely be more of a foreclosure trickle than a tsunami. Think about that. I wonder what your guys' thoughts are on all of this stuff. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I mean, there's many things to think about, right? So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this. A recent report from Atom Data explains is by going even deeper into numbers. And let's go about numbers here. Only about 214,800 homeowners were facing possible foreclosure in the second quarter of 2022. So if we have homeowners, 214,800 homeowners that are facing possible foreclosure in 2022, if this is in the second quarter, what is that telling you? And this is not saying, and this is just, I'm going to tell you this, or just 0.4% of the 58.2 million outstanding mortgages in the U.S. So out of 58.2 million people, only 214,800 homeowners were facing the possibility of foreclosure in the second quarter of 2022. Okay, do you really think that we're going to go ahead into, there's going to be an abundance of foreclosures and short sales for in the upcoming year? Think again. So of those facing foreclosure, about 195,400 or 91% had at least some equity built out in their homes. About 91% had at least some equity built out. Even though they can sell, that's the thing. They have an option. Depends on the situation and how early they get into it. But if you see the headlines about the increasing numbers of foreclosure today, remember, context is important. So look at the bigger picture. And while it's true that the number of foreclosures is higher now than it was last year, keep in mind, last year was a totally different story, people. Foreclosures are still below pre-pandemic years. Foreclosures are still well below pre-pandemic. Keep in mind, between 2017 and 2019. All right, now that we got all that out, I want you guys to know, if you guys have any questions, any concerns, let me know and comment below. Subscribe, share, and follow for more. This is Cindy Price Grace with Cindy's Realty Group by EXP. Have a beautiful day.